For a man who is caricatured as an extremist, we think you'll find what he has to say moderate, sensible, and wise.
I call it the N-word. You have two N-words. You don't mention either one of them. The nuclear word you don't mention because the power is so destructive.
Hello and welcome to What the F*** Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Wednesday, April 12th, 2023. Welcome to day 813. The EPA proposed tougher tailpipe emission limits that could require up to 67% of new vehicles sold in the United States to be all electric by 2032, the nation's most ambitious climate regulations to date. The new rules are expected to eliminate 7.3 billion tons of CO2 through the year 2055, the equivalent of eliminating all greenhouse gas emissions from the entire U.S. transportation sector for 4 years. The limits would also surpass Biden's previous commitment to have EVs make up roughly 50% of cars sold by 2030. Last year, electric vehicles accounted for 5.8% of the 13.8 million new vehicles sold in the U.S. The White House has also set aside $7.5 billion to expand the EV charging network. This is part of the 2021 $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill. And the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act will provide tax credits of up to $7,500 for car buyers to incentivize adoption and affordability of electric vehicles. The United States is currently the world's third largest market for EVs, behind China and Europe. Moving on, the Federal Reserve projects that the nation's economy will fall into a mild recession by the end of the year, according to the minutes from the Fed's latest March meeting minutes. Central bank officials scaled back their economic expectations for future rate hikes this year, due in part to the string of bank failures and the instability in the banking sector. Although Fed officials considered skipping a rate increase at their March meeting, they ultimately raised their benchmark lending rate a quarter point to a range of 4.75 to 5%. U.S. inflation, meanwhile, fell to its lowest level in nearly 2 years. The Consumer Price Index rose 0.1% from February to March and 5% from a year ago. Despite the lower prices, inflation is still running at more than 2.5 times the Fed's target of 2%, and the central bank is on track to raise interest rates at least one more time before what they say will be an extended pause to let their work filter through the economy. Economists expect the federal funds rate to settle at around 5.25% and stay there through 2023. The Fed will announce its next policy decision on May 3rd. Moving on, Trump sued Michael Cohen for $500 million over allegations that his former attorney violated their attorney-client relationship and breached a confidentiality agreement. Trump accused Cohen, a key witness in the criminal case against Trump, of revealing confidences in an embarrassing or detrimental way, including falsehoods about Trump with malicious intent and to wholly self-serving ends. One of Trump's attorneys added without evidence that Cohen lied to the judge. He's lied to prosecutors. He's lied to his employers. He's lied to his own attorneys. Cohen's lawyer, on the other hand, said Trump appears once again to be using and abusing the judicial system as a form of harassment and intimidation. The lawsuit comes after Trump pleaded not guilty to 34 felony charges, claiming that he falsified business records to conceal a $130,000 reimbursement payment to Michael Cohen, who paid Stormy Daniels just days before the 2016 election in order to buy her silence about her sexual encounter with Trump. And finally, a Delaware Superior Court judge sanctioned Fox News for withholding evidence in the $1.6 billion defamation lawsuit brought by Dominion Voting Systems. Judge Eric Davis said that Fox lawyers had previously represented to him more than once that Rupert Murdoch was only an officer at Fox Corp and didn't have any role in Fox News. The distinction may have narrowed what Fox turned over as part of the discovery process, such as Murdoch's internal emails and text messages. Judge Davis also said the network has a credibility problem and that such information could have led him to make different rulings earlier in the case, adding, "By the way, an omission is a lie." Judge Davis also said he would appoint a so-called special master to investigate whether the network lied to the court and withheld key evidence. The sanctions imposed against Fox will allow Dominion to conduct additional depositions of some Fox witnesses or redo any of them that have already been done, and require Fox to do everything they can to make the person available, and it will be at a cost to Fox. The trial in the $1.6 billion lawsuit is scheduled to begin on Monday. Meanwhile, a Fox Corp shareholder sued Murdoch and 4 other board members, accusing them of failing to stop Fox News from reporting false and dangerous misinformation about the 2020 presidential election. That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Amditis.
And I'll tell you, people were crying. People that work there, professionally work there, that have no problems putting in murderers, and they see everybody. It's tough place. And they were crying. They were actually crying. They said, I'm sorry. They'd say, 2024, sir, 2024. And tears are pouring down their eyes. I've never seen anything like those people are phenomenal. Those are your police.
Yep.
Those are the people that work at the courthouse. They're unbelievable people. Many of them were in tears or close to it. Many apologists were sorry, sir. We're sorry. They had